Dave, congratulations. How do you sum that game up today?
3 points is the I suppose the first thing to say, which is obviously important. I thought we were flat first half. When you can see the goal in the manner that we did, that only makes it flatter. Did we deserve to be behind at the break? I wouldn't say we did, but we just certainly didn't deserve to be in front. So I was more than, I say, happy to be able to get in level and say a few words, shall we say. And the second half was miles better. And that's what we need to stick to. That's my message at the end to the players. Regardless of what happens this season, whether we stay where we are, whether we get a playoff place and win, whether we get a playoff place and lose, whether we don't make the playoffs, whether we finish second, then we've got to do it by being us and almost falling on our sword. So we get the opportunity to do what we did at the end in terms of keeping the ball by what you do in the first bit. And if players aren't of a nature that want to run, then they're probably at the wrong, or not the wrong club, but they're playing for the wrong manager. And that's something that I'll never ever stray away from. And first half, I thought we strayed away from that a little bit. I needed us to look like a team that had everything to play for, and I didn't really see that. Opportunities come around in football, sometimes not very often, and we've got a big opportunity here. So I want to see every single session we do. I want to see a group of players, individually, collectively, that want to go and seize and grasp that opportunity.
You've also got to take some credit yourself, I think, this afternoon, because early subs, and they had an impact. I mean, Odin Bailey, it's a delicious ball, isn't it, for Brad Hills? You'd appreciate that one as a centre-half coming onto that.
They'd have been earlier, to be honest. I think us scoring just for half-time, I'd said to the lads half-time, I'll give you 5 minutes. Yeah. In fairness, I wanted to see an increase in intensity. I saw that. But I just wanted to try and get more bodies forward. Fev's had a good little spell in that first bit of the second half. Looked like he, again, was tiny, played a lot of football. Yeah. Odin's a different proposition playing out there. And I felt that if we had Will's runs, that would assist us in terms of what we wanted to do. And listen, that I've said before, sometimes that works out, sometimes it doesn't. We get ourselves in front. We then get obviously the third goal, which I'm sure from Matty's perspective there'll be a bit of controversy around, because I'm not saying, and I've not seen it back, so I'm not saying in any way, shape or form it could be a penalty, and probably on balance of the way the game was refereed, I don't think it is a penalty, but they'll have their own opinions on that. From our perspective, we've broken away. Ethan plays a great ball. It's a great run by Woods, which we've been working on and speaking about in terms of those runs in behind, and a brilliant finish. And that allows us to, like I say, manage the game in terms of looking after the ball, which at times, like I said, I thought we did really well against, let's be clear, a good team that have real threats all over the pitch, that forget the last 3 results in terms of them winning 3 games. They were a championship club last year and have come down and still have a big group of that players together. So a brilliant result for us. You
mentioned Carl Wotton there. He's got an assist today. He's got a goal today. I think it's 21 goal involvements now for the season for Kyle, and he's 4 goals in 4 games. How important has he been in these last few weeks to get you to where you are?
What is always important to us, and important in terms of going back and defending set pieces and putting himself in both penalty areas, in terms of the batterings he gets from centre backs, in terms of bringing other players into the game. He's a brilliant focal point in terms of our pressing game. His physical numbers, I don't want to tempt fate here, but I think 2 years ago, he's a sort of player that plays 50 games a season and can do it continually, and then he got injured the game after at Gillingham, so that's not the case. But he's obviously important to us. I get with everything. There'll be players in our team that do the things that, without being disrespectful, supporters don't really don't see and don't appreciate. I think if you ask every single player in our dressing room the opinion, then that would be different or different to some, certainly, because he plays his part in what is, let's be clear, our strength is in our team, and you need different characteristics, you need different traits. You can't have 11 individuals in order to bind things together, and he plays a massive part in that.
You finished last season really strongly. You're now finishing this season really strongly. In actual fact, if results go right next weekend on Friday, you could actually confirm your playoff place. I mean, that's beyond your wildest dreams, isn't it?
Not beyond our wildest dreams. It's probably something that we'd hoped for, but I stand there's probably 15 managers that would have hoped for, or 16 managers, maybe even more, that would have hoped for exactly the same at the start of the season. Some might have hoped to be nowhere near the playoffs, and like Birmingham, miles are clear at the top. That wasn't where our hopes were, or certainly our dreams might have been. But we've got ourselves in a good position, regardless of, like I said, what it takes. We have, and maybe we're bad judges, we've outperformed the points that we thought it would take for us to get a playoff place. I still don't think we've got enough, so we need to obviously still try and increase that. But our aim's very simple: it's to win 5 games and see where that takes us.
No Nick Powell today, no Challinor either. What's the prognosis on those two?
Noilly, again, would have been involved today, a little bit of a back spasm right at the end of training yesterday, doing some training, doing some extras. So disappointment for him, but I would hope that would settle down within days. Powley came through the game on Tuesday, and then training, we were doing some 11v11 stuff on Thursday. Just felt someone in his adductor, a slight one. It will be a 7 to 10 day thing, maybe 2 weeks maximum. So a frustrating one, because as we know with Nick, we try and build him up. The risk for us was probably the game on the Tuesday, which he came through and got some minutes. Unfortunately, like I say, he's felt something training on Thursday. Not the worst news, but obviously at the time not the best news with the other injuries that we've got. But like I say, hopefully we'll get some back sooner rather than later.
And just finally, as I mentioned, Peterborough next weekend. I know they've got this big cup final to come now tomorrow for them, but interesting side, aren't they? They concede goals, but they don't have scored them. I think the front 4 have all got double figures this season. I mean, it's clear where their threat is, but there'll be opportunities as well.
They're a huge threat. I think if you look at any team in the league on paper who you probably wouldn't want to come up against, certainly in a transitional game, you'd pick that, because they do have huge threats up the top end of the pitch. On the flip side of that, they leave themselves, like I say, pretty open. So games can be high scoring.
You love them, don't you?
I love them if we score a lot and they don't. I wouldn't want to go there and I suppose watch what Graham Alexander's had to watch it Bradford or Swindon today, and be a 5-4. So no, listen, they're a team with, like I say, huge threats in transition. We know plenty about them. We know that regardless of where they sit in the league, who they play against, they'll pose you problems. But we've got to look at us. I hope they do really, really well in the cup final tomorrow, have a brilliant week, and then aren't at it on Friday, but I don't think that will be the case. So we'll prepare for the best version of them, and look to go and, like I say, back up not just what we've done today, what we've done in the recent past in terms of keeping this winning run going.
4 wins in a row. Well done.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Cheers, pal.